Coach, you're going to Colorado early. I'm sure it's to get acclimated to the altitude. Playing 7 games in at altitude, where your fitness may not be at its peak yet. How do you look at that and the importance of that?
We're actually not going early. We go just typical as we do. Anytime we're going to travel across 2 time zones or more, we're going to go 2 days early. That's just typical for MLS travel. So it's really nothing out of the ordinary for us. And I would say that our fitness level, from my point of view, is extremely high right now. And so I think that we're absolutely ready for a game at altitude at this point of the season. I think our guys are prepared.
Looking back on Saturday's game, when you look back at that, what do you think kind of went wrong? Just those last 10 minutes to let San Jose.
It's just dead ball situations. Even to look and see how we gave up the dead balls, I would say it's not through a lack of effort or a lack of tracking back by any of our players. Both of them, I think, come about because San Jose is losing the game 3-0 and throwing a lot of numbers at us and taking all kinds of risks. And so they deserve the corner kicks that they got, and then it's about us being organized and committed and communicating to pick things up and not allow those 2 goals. So on the one side, it's very disappointing. On the other side, it's something we think we can fix very easily.
And then Uri also made his debut. Looking back, how do you think he did in the short minutes?
A little bit too short a time to tell, to be honest. Probably, in hindsight, wish maybe I had made that decision a little quicker. Get him in and get him a few more minutes to get him acclimated to the group a little bit more, but he's had some really good training sessions the past several days and the past week and a half, 2 weeks now. So he's moving in a very positive direction.
As you had time to digest that film, Coach, what stands out most about Muller's performance and what he was able to showcase on Saturday?
Special night for a lot of players, not just Muller, I would say. I think it was a special night for all of us involved because of the way we started the game. Because of the way we handled our business in the first half. I think it very easily could have been 3-4-0 at halftime because of the attitude and the commitment level by our players, and I think Kreis exemplifies that with sort of a never say die mentality and not willing to back down to anybody. It doesn't matter their age or their experience or his age or his experience. He's just out there to prove himself.
Did you have these type of expectations when you were drafting him and scouting him?
No. This is very, very rare in my coaching experience, which now is on the 11th year. I've never had a first-year player making this kind of contribution. So I think it speaks volumes for him.
Coach, in terms of Muller, obviously with him in being such a good scoring form, I guess what does he have to do now instead of, because usually there's players that are in a scoring form and they go into a little bit of a rut, but for him to kind of continue that consistency going?
I think he just has to continue to tune out the noise. I think that's be the biggest challenge for him, is because probably we are all doing a little too much talking about him right now, which is part of, you do well and people are going to talk about you. So now it's incumbent upon him to ignore that and to remember that he needs to keep his feet on the ground. He's got a lot to learn still, and if he wants to continue moving forward, he has to continue to work and know that he has a lot to learn still.
Looking ahead to Sunday's game, taking on Colorado, who will be without Tim Howard, but what are some of the problems that they present you guys?
Extremely hard-working and together team right now. In their last 4 matches, they've had 3 extremely positive results and then 1 poor one. The 1 poor one comes away when they went down a man early in the game at Real Salt Lake, so I think that's a bit of a blip. And so for me, it's a team that's riding some confidence and a team that works extremely hard. So going to be a massive challenge for us there in Denver for sure.
Coach, with Agita and Yotun, it seems like your midfield is really finally starting to come together. You're getting that control in the midfield that you had been talking about. But how do you go about incorporating Uri into this as well? Is it just kind of an embarrassment of riches now in the midfield?
Yeah, no, I don't look at the situation and say that I've got this great onus or pressure to incorporate anybody. I think that the players that are playing well right now need to be rewarded. There needs to be some consistency about that. And then when things start to take a little bit of a downturn, as they always do in any MLS season, then we know we have depth and we know we have options.
Coach, when you look at Colorado, especially one of the players, Enzo Martinez, a player that you drafted back at RSL, he's kind of gone on a little soccer odyssey in ASL, USL, and now he's been kind of playing consistently in MLS. What are your thoughts on kind of his journey?
I think it's terrific. I think it's terrific for not only individual players, for players coming up, for players that are starting their careers in any league, to know that there's different pathways to the top level. It's not always a straight and short line. It's oftentimes riddled with steps forward and multiple steps backward. So I'm pleased for Enzo. He's a terrific young man, and I'm also pleased for what that means for all of the players that are coming up as professionals in our league. And I'm also finally pleased for that shows something about the developmental process and the system that we have now in place, where a player can drop down to the second level for a little while and then come back up. There's multiple levels for players to play.
Right.
Coach, obviously you guys are in a good goal-scoring form, but what are you seeing from Colorado's defense? They've allowed the second fewest goals in MLS so far.
Yeah, like I said, it's a really committed effort by all 11 players on the field to defend extremely well. They play with 5 defenders, which from my point of view, is putting the defense first, and I think that the statistics bear that out. As you said, they're allowing very few goals, and so we know it will be a difficult team to break down.
All right, these next two are for broadcast for Sky Sports. You're on a hot streak. How do you maintain that and get the consistency that has been missing from previous Orlando teams?
Well, I think the first thing that we need to think about or talk about is that we aren't a previous Orlando team, and we don't look at our past and have any particular onus or anything that we feel like we have to prove, because there's very, very few of us that have been here for long stretches of time. We're a brand new team with brand new objectives and brand new mindset. And so we need to just stay focused on ourselves, not worry about the past, and also stay focused on the fact. The fact of the matter is that we have a lot of improvement to make still. Yes, we have some wins in a row now, but we could have been better in all of those games, and frankly should have been better in all those games.
And the trio of Dwyer, Kleshin, and Muller have really clicked in this run. Tell us about how the three of them combine together.
I think that it's oftentimes the case where you have players that are just on the same wavelength, and I saw that really from day one of preseason, that those players were combining, as well as a player like Justin Miram, even though he's gone through a little bit of a rough patch here. He has a very good understanding with those attacking-minded players as well, and so I think again we have options. Dom wasn't even with us really in preseason, so it's kind of amazing to see him come on so quickly, and that understanding, that fluidity to be there so quickly. But things like that happen when you have guys that are talented players and guys that have the right mindset.
Any injury update on Spector, Allen, and Sutter?
R.J. Allen was available last week. He was in the 18, ready to go in at any given moment. That stays the same. Scott Sutter still struggling with the knee and recuperating from that. Hasn't been out to a full training session. And then John is still having some symptoms from the second concussion, and so we don't even have a timeline on that.
With regard to Muller suffering Nick today, he went off with
Yeah, he did. He went off with a little bit of a knock, but he's fine. Yeah.
With regard to Colorado's attack, Dominic Baggi has 4 of their 9 goals. What are you seeing from their attack?
A team that plays with 2 strikers, and they play with the 2 strikers a little differently than most, and so because of that, I think it creates some real tactical problems for opponents. The majority of the teams in MLS play with only 1 striker now, and so that's what I think back fours are very, very accustomed to seeing week in and week out. And then when you face the 2 strikers, I think there's a lot more communication that needs to happen amongst the back four, including the 2 holding midfielders, and that's where they cause their problems, Colorado.